A very good afternoon. Thank you so much for staying with us here on TV 47. A very warm welcome on Newsfeed. My name is Mombi Chege. Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta this afternoon is expected to preside over the National COVID-19 Conference and thereafter give the 12th State of the Nation address of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, the President will address the nation on what steps and measures the government will be putting in place to reopen the country. We're joined by Mwangi Maina to bring us to speed on what is expected in the conference. Mwangi Maina.
Thank you, Mumbishege. Of course, the President is expected to preside over the COVID-19 conference. The conference will kick off some few minutes to 2 p.m. all the way to 6 p.m. when President Uhuru Kenyatta is expected to give the State of the Nation address on matters pertaining to COVID-19. Those people who will be attending the conference will be at the KICC, while President Uhuru Kenyatta and other dignitaries will be at State House. Of course, the conference will start by Health CS Mutahi Kagwe handing over the COVID-19 report to President Uhuru Kenyatta. Then President Uhuru Kenyatta will set the agenda for the conference, and of course the President will start by thanking Kenyans and the heroes and all people who have participated in the COVID-19 fight. Of course, there will be different panels who will be giving their submissions on what has been done on matters COVID-19, and those people who will be speaking or the keynote addresses will be given by Fred Matiang'i, who is the Interior Cabinet Secretary. The Council of Governors Chair, Wycliffe Oparanya, will have Raila Odinga, who will also be addressing the conference, and William Ruto, who is the Deputy President. And at around 6 p.m, President Uhuru Kenyatta will be giving the State of the Nation address on matters COVID-19 and the outcome of the conference. And Mumbi, you understand that Kenyans are waiting eagerly on what Kenyatta will announce the effectiveness, or rather the containment measures to stay put. Mumbi, we will be waiting and will be following the conference to know the outcome of what is going to happen today after the 12th presidential address on COVID-19 pandemic.
Indeed, thank you so much, Mwangi Maina, for bringing us to speed on what is expected, what measures the government will be putting into place before reopening the country amid the coronavirus. Now, a patient is reported to have died at the Kenyatta National Hospital parking lot with the health workers strike at the Kenyatta National Hospital. Workers at the largest referral facility, Kenyatta National Hospital, went on strike on Monday over a delayed pay increase and vowed not to resume to their work until their demands are met. Lynette Gidua is following up on that and now joins us live from the hospital. Lynette, we understand there was a meeting going on earlier. Is it over? What else do we know so far, Lynette?
Kisha mpaka saa hii hatujapatiwa barua. SRC ifanywe nini? Ishindwe. SRC ifanywe nini? Anja yetu ni moja. Tulipwe mara moja, si kesho, mara moja. Pili, sisi asiwetu tuteremushwa kwa 3C, sisi tuko tayari 7. Tatu, hata kama hamtupatii barua na sisi hatuwezi kufanya kazi.
Thank you very much. Wana Kenyatta hoye! Wana Kenyatta hoye! Solidarity! Solidarity! 7A! Nasema pesa, si ndio? 7A! 7A! Pesa! 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 Asante sana. Vile mwenzangu amesema, I want to take this opportunity to talk to the President. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Honorable Mwikai Uhuru Kenyatta, we beseech you as the workers of Kenyatta National Hospital to look into our plight and use your executive powers to alleviate this problem. Give the executive directive to Kenyatta National Hospital to effect payment. Your Excellency, you have those powers. We cannot have one institution within government believing that it is above all other institutions. Ministry of Health requested for the funding. Treasurer accepted, allocated the funding. Treasurer requested Parliament to approve the funding. Parliament approved the funding through the budget. After that approval, the money was brought to Kenyatta National Hospital to pay workers of Kenyatta National Hospital. Si hivyo ama ni hivyo? Si ni hivyo? Kwa hivyo tunataka kuambia SRC, tuliwaambia tutaondoka na nyinyi mche mfanye kazi. Kwa nini hamjafika hapa? Kwa nini hamjafika hapa? Hiyo barua tunawaambia mambo ya job evaluation, hayo mwende mfanyie kwa miti au kwa maji au mbinguni. Si tunataka nini? Mambo ya job evaluation hatuta. Mambo ya job evaluation hatuta. Pesa hii ilishatolewa na serikali na ni lazima ilipwe. Tumeelewana? Hii pesa ni lazima ilipwe hivi sasa, na kama sio sasa ni sasa hivi. Kwa hivyo naambia wale wako ndani ya serikali kwamba hii ni aibu kubwa, kwamba mnaruhusu SRC ambayo yuko na watu wengine hatujui walipitia wapi, wengine hawajawahi fanya katika serikali ya umma, wametoka katika binafsi na ndio hawaelewi nini inaendelea Kenyatta. Tunaambia SRC, sisi hatutarudi nyuma mpaka tuone barua addressed to the CEO Kenyatta National Hospital saying we advise you to do what? We advise you to do what? Na msijaribu kuweka some love word inside there. Tunataka tu authority to pay. Authority to pay. Hiyo tosha. Kwa hayo mengi nataka tuambie tuko hapa na tutakaa hata ni miaka 20 mpaka watulipe, sivyo? Asante.
Kenyatta msilale, lale lale, Kenyatta msilale, bado mapambano, 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 bado mapambano, 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 bado mapambano. Before I speak, I just want one answer from all of you. What is it that you want? Sijasikia bado. What is it that you want? Nini mnataka? Semeni usikike. Mnataka kulipwa lini? Mnataka kulipwa lini? Na niulize, ni nani amezuia hii pesa? Nani amezuia hii pesa? So what is the message to SRC? What is the message to SRC? Okay. The message is simple. These workers here are out here at the parking lot, and they want one thing. They've said it, it's clear. And we know that SRC is the obstacle. Sindio?
Yes.
Nani ndio obstacle? Mimi sijasikia bado. Nani ndio obstacle? SRC. Good. So if SRC is the obstacle, then they are solely responsible for what is happening. No one else. SRC. Na tumechoka na huu mchezo wa paka na panya na SRC. For the longest time possible, SRC has been frustrating public sector workers. You cannot say that you are not going to be involved in negotiations, but on the back end, you're the ones who's giving the prescription on what needs to be paid. So if people negotiate and come to an agreement, you come and rubbish that and say this is what you will pay. So they should come out clearly. Kama wanataka to negotiate na wao waseme, tutawashika nyinyi wote. Twende wapi? Twende tufanye nini? To negotiate na wao. Lakini wasiseme ati wao hawata negotiate. They are not involved in negotiations, but they are the ones setting salaries and becoming an obstacle. get clearly to SRC and to everyone in government. If
And we will be bringing you full details on that strike in our subsequent bulletins. Now, residents of Tana Delta sub-county in Tana River County have called on the national government to revive the stalled sugar project that was piloted in the area more than 10 years ago. Now, former President Mwai Kibaki launched a 100-acre demonstration farm in the area on October 2004, and by August 2005, the cane had matured and yielded 180 tons of sugarcane, but the project failed after investors shied away due to community disagreement and political interference. Now, the Tana and Athi Rivers Development Authority had set aside 22,000 hectares of land at the Tana Delta irrigation project in Garissa area that was capable of producing more than 400,000 tons.
Ungaliondolea watu maskini kwa sababu tumeona vile ambavyo miwa imeleta faida kule Western and Nyanza, but ilipofika Tana River, huu mradi vile wenzangu wametangulia kusema ni kwamba uliingiliwa na siasa, na wanasiasa wakaanza kupiga vita kwa sababu sio za kibinafsi. Kulikuwa na mpango wa kwamba hii scheme pia ifanywe ranch ya kuwa ng'ombe waweze kwenda kulisha, so kulikuja siasa mingi mpaka ikaisha. Lakini ukweli wa mambo ni huu: ile project ilipoanza, mimi mwenyewe nilienda Mombasa show na niliona ile sukari ya Tana Delta Sugar ikiwekwa kwenye mifuko, kwenye magunia kilo 50, na nilionyeshwa, nikaambiwa hii ndiyo sukari ya Tana Delta Sugar. Tana Delta Sugar ilikuwa tamu zaidi kuliko ile sukari ambayo iko Western, kuliko ile sukari ambayo iko Nyanza. Tulionyeshwa species kadhaa, maturity, the cost of production ya Tana Delta ilikuwa fupi, less than a year, ambayo the same species ikienda Western Nyanza was to mature in a period of 22 months. So the cost, I mean project ya Tana Delta ilikuwa cost effective such that sukari yake ilikuwa sweeter, good for export, 1, 2, it was cheap to produce the sugar kwa sababu ilikuwa inachukua muda mfupi sana to mature, which means tungalikuwa na the best sugar for export from Tana Delta, not from Western and Nyanza. Kwa hivyo tungependa huu mradi ufufuliwe, uanzishwe upya na utupunguzie umaskini Tana Delta. Huu mto una flow all of kutoka up country ukiteremka baharini, lakini wakati unateremka baharini kule juu watu wamefaidi, lakini ukifika Tana Delta hakuna kitu cha maana. Tuko na schemes 3: Bura, Hola, Tana Delta, zote zimeangamia. Kwa nini? Politics. So tungalipenda hii miradi irudi, ipunguze umaskini Tana River na Tana Delta.
Thank you for staying with us here on TV 47. This is Newsfeed, and remember you can also give us your feedback on Facebook at TV 47 Kenya, as well as on Twitter at Facebook at TV 47 Kenya, and on Twitter at TV 47 KE. You can tell us your thoughts on the stories we're having for you, and also to remind you that we're officially on DSTV on channel 268. Now, teachers have reported to work today in preparations for schools reopening in many schools across the country. Our teachers held meetings to be updated on the resumption. Some schools have already started preparations for the reopening, which sources indicate is likely to be the 5th of October, the first phase. Now, Andrew Kilemi has been following up on this in Nairobi and now joins us live. Andrew, are teachers ready for the reopening of schools?
Right, thank you so much, Mombi. We are coming to you live from Moi Avenue Primary School along Moi Avenue in Nairobi's capital, in Kenya's capital, Nairobi. Now, teachers are inside there. They have a meeting with the principal since morning. They have been speaking to one another and just coming up with various strategies on when when schools will be reopened, what will be happening here. We have visited a number of schools. We were in primary Mountain Hill in Parklands. We also visited the Jamhuri High School in Ngara, and the situation is equally the same. Teachers have started to report. Actually, all of them have reported apart from a few, but those that had spoken to the principals and asked for permission for various reasons. Now, Remember the order by TSC CEO Nancy Macharia to reopen schools, rather for teachers to report in schools on 28th on or before the 28th, and that is the order that they are following. For now, we are waiting for the president to address the nation and just to let us know whether schools will be reopened, whether learners will be allowed to come back, and whether they are considering a phased reopening where Form 3s and Form 4s will be allowed to report first, together with the Standard 8s and Standard 7 pupils who will be allowed to report first. It is what we are waiting for the presidential address in the evening. As of now, teachers are ready. Teachers are back in schools. Cleaning is ongoing. Tomorrow, we are aware that teachers here in Moi Avenue Primary School will be meeting with the workers from Kazim Taani just for general cleaning to ensure that all procedures that have been put in place to control the spread of coronavirus is adhered to.
Thank you, Andreen Kilemi. Let's now cross over to Mombasa County and speak to our reporter, Mariam Mwacharo, who is at Mombasa Primary School. Mariam, if you can hear me, is there indication that teachers are ready in Mombasa County and Mombasa Primary School for the reopening of schools?
Yes, we're coming to you live from Mombasa Primary School here in Mombasa County. Earlier, we did take a spot check around Mombasa County. We went to other secondary schools here, public secondary school, Serani Boys Secondary School. We spoke to the head teacher there, and they said that all systems are a go here in Mombasa County. Teachers have reported to school. They are in preparation. According to the principal of Serani Secondary School here in Mombasa, he says that they've already made a COVID-19 response team. They are looking into measures to have the students come back to school. And they say that probably he will have to actually make another timetable to accommodate for the short time that might be available during this term. Now, here in Mombasa Primary School, I have with me the principal for Mombasa Primary School, Mr. Alamin, who's actually going to tell us what are his plans, what they're doing right now as Mombasa Primary. Mwalimu, welcome. Yes, tell us your name and tell us what Mombasa Primary School is doing in preparation to come back, to resume classes.
I am Alamin Salim Takdir, the head teacher of Mombasa Primary School. This morning, all the teachers reported. TSC teachers, all of them reported. We had a staff meeting. We have prepared ourselves to receive a group. Is that the class 8, the standard 7 and the grade 4 are supposed to come. And the school is ready to accommodate them. We have agreed that the government decided that every class should have a maximum of 20 pupils.
Yes.
According to our numbers, we have arranged the teachers who are going to take charge of those classes, and all the teachers are now preparing themselves, ready to receive those kids when time comes.
Okay, thank you very much, Mwalimu. As you've heard from the principal of Mombasa Primary, they are ready, all systems are a go, despite some challenges which we will be updating you on the next bulletin. Back to you in studio.
Thank you so much, Mariam, for that, just updating us on the preparedness or teachers' preparedness and readiness in Mombasa County to reopen schools. Now, a section of leaders from Garissa County now say they have no one to blame but themselves for the problems facing the region. Now, led by Garissa Township MP Aden Duale, the leaders have asked locals in the northeastern region to take personal responsibility in bringing change and development.
Senate has been asked to independently direct the two parties.
According to former majority leader in the National Assembly, Aden Duale, it's high time the region stopped blaming the government and various institutions for lagging behind in matters development.
The leadership of Northeastern, the people of Northeastern, we need to have a conversation, a candid, honest conversation on how to solve this problem ourselves. The days when we could blame, we can't even blame the president. We can't blame the Ministry of Education. We can't blame TSC anymore.
Duale insisting the locals must be involved directly in finding solutions to problems affecting them, especially on education matters and security.
And I'll tell you why we should not blame TAC. We told TAC, give us slots for locals. We don't want non-locals. TAC gave us numbers. We are unable to raise the numbers. Period. Am I right? Are we raising the numbers? So the problem is ours.
The leader is asking locals to support leaders who are committed to advancing development in the region.
You should be passionate about what you're talking about. But we are missing the capital resource, the human resource. We are missing the human resource. We are not getting them. And as long as we should not blame. Now, we are told Teacher Service Commission has given 287 teachers to be employed locally. And we only got 17 teachers. Honestly, why do we blame TAC?
We will not avoid our responsibility as a region, but we must also recognize that government is the single most important institution that is supposed to help us. We want the government to not abdicate its role.
The leaders were speaking during an education forum in Garissa County.
The Nairobi Metropolitan Service NMS has issued a number of measures to improve services at Pumwani Maternity Hospital following the incident of a woman who was denied access at the hospital and ended up giving birth at the gate. Now, among the measures are that the gates to the hospital will remain opened, as Nanok Loren now reports.
Senate has been asked to independently direct the two parties, Nairobi City Council Government and the Hatari Security Guards Limited, to provide security farm contract documents for review and assist NMS establish the authenticity of the contracts and recommend further action as may be appropriate in law. Further, NMS has laid out operating procedures to be followed at Pumwani Maternity Hospital, to include the gate to remain open at all times and will only be closed between 7 p.m. and 6 a.m. All security officers to report to Administrator, National Police Service to extend provision of security for government buildings including Pumwani, Mama Lucy Kibaki, Mbagathi and Motoini Hospital. In a response by the Nairobi Metropolitan Service to the Health Senate Committee, NMS has established that the mother, Miss Jacqueline Faustine, was admitted to complete her third stage of labor at the Pumwani Hospital. The mother and baby were discharged on 18 September 2020 in good condition and were paid a visit on 20th September by NMS on follow-up to check on their status and issue a birth notification. This is after they were denied entry at the gate on 13 September by security guard employees of Hatari Security Guards Limited on allegations that nurses were on a go-slow. The private security firm was outsourced from 2017 by the Nairobi City County Government to provide security to 4 hospitals, namely Pumwani, Motoini, Mama Lucy Kibaki and Mbagathi. NMS further claiming there are challenges of handover of the payroll for staff seconded to NMS, hindering deserved promotions, resignations and salary harmonizations, lack of harmonized medical schemes, 127 million shillings held in special purpose account SPA of the county. A number of support services staff did not receive secondment letters, and Nairobi City County Government yet to hand over a record of all contracts were brought forth relating to handing over of health functions from Nairobi City County Government to NMS. Nanok Loren, TV 47.
Thank you, Nanok, for that report. Let's now get to the sports news. Luis Suarez opened his Atletico Madrid chapter